Jelmer here. In this video I'll repair the doors of a cheap cabinet, I'll make a rim in a piece of wood and I will put the whole thing back together again. So a good while ago we needed more storage space and we needed it quickly, so I bought cheap cabinets and after a while the doors literally started to fall apart. And as a matter of fact I bought two cheap cabinets and on each of them one of the doors fell apart. So of the first one I have all the parts, still I have like the thin piece of cardboard wood, because it's really flimsy quality. I have those pieces still. I also have the pieces of wood that go in the middle, but of the other one I have less material. So this one I only have the thin pieces of cardboard wood, but I don't have the pieces of wood that go in the middle. So for this door I'll need to do more work than for this door right here. Now let's take a look at how it was built initially, because you can see here that it was attached using dowels and they're still sticking out, but they broke loose from the wood that you see here. And you can see this is not real wood, this is like a cheap kind of plywood. It's pretty bad quality. So the way I plan to fix it is just to use some 3-inch screws and to run that through it, and I think that's going to be way stronger than the dowels that held it in place initially. Now, so this one should be pretty quick. With the other one it's going to be a bit more work, like I said. So for this one I'm going to use the same basic pieces, so I can just use a piece of wood from here, and I have some better quality plywood right here, and that's what I'm going to use to make 3 pieces just like this one. Now the challenging part will be to make the rim, because you see a rim for the thin piece of cardboard wood, and that's what I'm going to make using my circle saw. So that may be a bit challenging, because I think it's just a little bit wider than the blade of my circle saw, but I will find it out. So I'm gonna start with the challenging one first, and then I'll put the easy one together after that. So this is 40.5 centimeter. So let's hope that this is 81. No, just shy of that, this is 79. And the other piece, I think it's the same. Yeah, it's also 79. Okay. If I only needed 2 pieces, I could just cut it out and make it to size right away. So I'm going to look for a 3rd piece, or maybe some other piece of wood that I can use for this part. So I found 2 additional pieces of wood. They are different thicknesses, so this one is thin, this one is thick. So I'm going to take the one that is closest to the thickness of the initial wood. Yeah, okay, this one is thinner than the original one, so I'm just gonna take the other one. So this one is slightly thicker, but yeah, I think that's better than to have it too thin. And you can see like it's easily big enough to cut out, I think, 4 pieces. I need 3, so this is gonna work just fine. Now I'm just gonna trace the existing piece onto the piece of wood. I think that's the quickest way of doing things. Alright, so let's double check if I have enough pieces. So this piece here, this is part of the door, and this is the top part. There needs to be 1 piece at the bottom, 1 piece in the middle, and then 1 piece to go on top of this one. So 3 pieces are what I need. So I clamped the wood on the workmate here, so I'm gonna cut these lines about halfway, and then I will reclamp it again from the end at the other side. Alright, now I'm gonna reclamp it. Now, and I'm just thinking ahead a little bit. I think I'm just gonna continue cutting it all the way out, because then when I want to make the rim, I can like use screws or something to attach it to the workmate, because I need space to keep it in place, but I don't think I have the right clamps for it. So I'm gonna extend the lines. Alright, I'll start cutting here, because then one by one they will fall off until the last one, which is attached with the clamp here. Okay. Alright, I got 3 pieces, all the same size. To make a neater cut, I maybe could have used the circle saw, but yeah. Yeah, maybe I should have done that. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So live and learn, right? Yeah, now that I line them up like this, you can actually see the gap in between. I think this piece was initially here. Like this, it doesn't look too bad, but if I turn both these pieces around, boy, too much space in between. Okay, I'm gonna take the original piece. This one isn't too bad. This one I need to adjust it a little bit. Okay, so this really goes to show, like, you should use the right tool for the job, because I thought I could just wing it and do it quickly with the jigsaw, but now actually it turns out that I should have used the proper tool. So I'm quickly gonna see if I can cut off the excess, because it's only this piece that's really sticking out, and then it should be fine. Alright, so for the next part, what I'm planning to do is to like attach it to the workmate like this, and then make a guide for the circle saw so the blade can go through here in the middle. And this is really a tricky part. I never did something like this before, and I really hope that it's gonna work out fine. If I had enough clamps, I would prefer to use a clamp for this, but the fact of the matter is I only have about 2 or 3 good clamps, so for this job I would need about 4. So let me just look around to see if I got any more. Now, as a matter of fact, I only have 1 good clamp, so I have to screw this wood against the workmate temporarily, so that's what I'm gonna do. And I think it's okay, because you can see here, like one of the original pieces, it's shorter than the piece that I'm gonna use. I'm gonna put a screw here and put a screw here, so that this piece of wood is gonna be flush against the workmate, and then I will put a guide for the circle also. Let me just mark it to be sure, like, where I want to be attached. And it's not super precise, because the blade, it will only go in like a few millimeters, and this is going to be way lower, so I will adjust the blade so it doesn't cut deep. Take the original piece of wood, and then I'm just gonna slide in the blade until it's the same depth, if that makes sense. And now I will attach the blade in place like this. So now you can see, like the blade is only sticking out just a little bit. Now for the next part I need to make a guide. So the small opening here, that's where the blade is. So I need to make sure that I have a guide for the circle saw. Now, if I were to cut from this side, that's gonna be hard, because like this it's very easy to have it go back and forth. So I'm gonna cut it from the other side, and I have a piece of wood left over here, and this is what I'm gonna use for the guide. And the wood starts here, so I'm gonna put this piece of wood, I think like so, so that it's straight from the get-go. And because the space is so small here, I'm also gonna attach this piece of wood to the table using some screws. So first of all, I'm just gonna do this by aiming for the middle. So I'm gonna keep this piece of wood in place, and I'm gonna screw it on. So let me do that right away. Okay, so I'm gonna double check. Okay, so this is in place on this side, and then I'll repeat it here on this side. So like here, it's gonna be in the middle. Okay. So is this wide enough? That's the question. Okay, it has to be just a bit wider, so I'm just gonna run it again, see if I can do it by hand. One more time. Okay, so it's a bit of trial and error, but my strategy works, so I'm happy about that. So I'm gonna repeat this a couple of more times, and yeah, then it should be good to go. Okay. Okay. Alright, so I never did this before, but this was actually quite a lot of fun, so I totally enjoyed this. Yeah, it's a bit rough, like I think ideally if you want to do this you should get a blade of the same thickness as the rim, but yeah, once again I make the most of my resources, so it's just not what I have. I have like a thin blade, so I just ran like a couple of times, like first on this side and then a little bit more on that side, and yeah, just by looking at it I try to make it as even as possible, and but with a circle saw that's doable, I think. So alright, so I'm gonna cut them off to length, and then I think I can already put the doors back together. Now, since I started with the jigsaw, I'm gonna end with it as well. So I'm just gonna do my best to make a straight cut, because it's gonna save a ton of time. But now that I think of it, I can just use my carpenter square as a guide, also for the jigsaw, of course. If I put it like this, then this should be straight. Yeah, so this is... I used to do this with the circle saw, so I can also do it with the jigsaw, of course. Okay, so that's one. Okay. Alright, so next I'm gonna pull out all of these dowels that you see here. because they don't do anything for the strength. And in fact they're already starting to break as I touch them. No, wait a minute. Oh, they glued the dowels in place. Okay. Alright. Okay. In that case I need to change my plan. I'm just gonna use the jigsaw to cut it off, because my plan is to use screws anyways, so then if needed I can just screw straight through the dowels. Yeah, reviews on Amazon said this is cardboard wood, and actually if you look at the fine grains it looks more like cardboard than wood. So yeah, I think that's pretty spot on. But they were cheap, right? So there's the trade-off. So now I guess I'm just gonna put it in place like this, and then slide the thinnest piece of cardboard wood in between. So let's see. So I'll start by marking the locations where I want to drill the wood. So I'm just going to use 2 screws. So one here and one there. So it's hard to see on the camera, but for me it's still visible. Now my plan is to use 3-inch screws, and as you can see it's gonna stick out just a little bit. I think I might actually drill it in like just a bit more, so the thread is all the way in the wood. So I'm gonna start with a thin drill that you see right here, and yeah, I don't have a guide, but ideally you should also have a guide to make sure that you drill it 100% straight. So I'm always double checking from all angles to make sure that it's as straight as it can be. Okay, repeat with the other hole. So double check, check, check. Okay. Okay. Now, like I mentioned just now, is that I want the screw to go in this deep. So I want to cut this part out with a wider drill. So I'm gonna take a drill that's wide enough for the head that you see here, and I'm gonna mark the drill. So I'm gonna show you what I mean by that. When I was 16, I was the seller of DVDs and games and all those things, and this is one of the markers I use to write on the disc. So I'm a bit older than that now, but it's still working. I'm so surprised. I got a few of those still. So I want it to go this deep, so I'm gonna mark it here, and I marked the drill, so this is until where I want to drill, and I'm gonna also make the marking on this side here, so hopefully when I drill I can still see this. Oh yeah, that was a bad idea. This wood, it starts to split as soon as the drill touches the wood, so this is not the right drill for this. So whenever you fix this sort of cabinet, do not use these flathead drills, even when they have like the sharp knives to the side. It's gonna split it right open. Okay, so I'm gonna repeat. with another drill. So okay, so I'm marking it all the way around, so also in here. So the idea is that while I'm drilling, I can still see it. You can also alternatively put like a piece of tape until here, and that will flap, and you can also see that. Okay, take 2. Hopefully this is working better. Okay, this seems to work. It feels so weird to drill in this. This stuff is so light, but when you drill it with a wide drill, it's like it barely wants to go in it. But anyways, I got 2 holes. So let's see if I can attach the first piece of wood. Alright, so now for the hard part, to keep the wood in place straight, so it's at a 90 degrees angle. So my idea is this, like, the screws are sticking out already a little bit, so I'm gonna like wiggle it against it, then keep it pressed down and use the driver to drive in the screws. Okay, well, let's see how it goes. This one first. Oh crap. Okay. Now the problem is that this wood, it starts to split, and I'm surprised at it because the screws that I have, they are pre-drilling, so it should be okay. But so apparently I should drill this first and then put in the screws on. I'm gonna try that right away. Okay. It's already split, so I doubt it's gonna make a huge difference, but I'm gonna see anyway. Okay. So that does the trick with a lot of drilling. It's gonna work out, but man, you can see it's still split here, so that's not how I want it. It feels pretty firm though, so that's okay. But so what I might do later on is to add something on top here, so some metal piece, like a metal brace, or this alternatively a corner piece here. So it's out of sight, but it's gonna get a little bit stronger. Yeah, not much I can do about it now, so I'm just gonna continue putting in the wood and continuing with all the other parts. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a piece of wood on top here and I'm gonna tap it. See if that does the trick. Because underneath here it's a bit swollen, I guess from the years in the storage. Okay, now I want it to go down, so let's see if I can do that as well. Like this. Oh. Who would have thought? So for the piece in the middle I'm just gonna put one screw, because the handle is right here, and if I move just a little bit to the side I'm gonna hit the screw that holds the handle in place. And I think it should be strong enough, and on the other side I might do 2 screws still. And to speed things up I'm just gonna keep this wood in place, so I can drill that one time. That's gonna save me a good bit of time. So next I'll be cutting this wood a little bit wider again, just like before. Okay. And then put in the screw. So I'm going to use the hammer to keep this floss against it. Okay. Alright, that ain't too bad. Okay, let's attach the other piece. Worked before when I just hammered a little bit, so hopefully it's gonna work again. Okay, so right now I got the pieces of cardboard wood back in place, but it seems that it's sticking out too much, so I'm not sure what's going on here, but my solution is to cut it off a little bit, because this rim here, it's not so deep, not as deep as the piece that's sticking out at least. Only down here it may fit, but you can see that this piece here is also like sticking out way more, so I'll have to fix that using the jigsaw. Okay. This did not go as expected. Man, it's just tearing off in pieces. Okay. Okay, so I can put this in place on top here. Yeah, and I'm just gonna do some more tapping. Okay, so I'm gonna attempt to drill all the holes on this side one time, because that's gonna save me a lot of time, and then to put in the screws. I just realized that I also need to drill the plywood, so it still needs to come out anyway, but still I'm gonna drill all of this one time. One door down, so it's this one is finished, so that's good. Now the next one should be much quicker, because I have all the parts. It's just a matter of taking out the dowels and drilling holes and putting in the screws. I think I'm just gonna push it back together with the dowels in it, and then use a screw to really make it into a firm connection. So you can see the dowels right here, so I'm gonna aim for a hole in the middle, and I'm just gonna use one screw to connect these pieces. To cut down in a straight line, I'm way more comfortable with that than doing it from this side, so that's why I'm taking out that piece of wood. this is pretty straight in the middle, so I'm just gonna put one hole next to it. I'm gonna mark the beginning. And then I will drill it straight down. And I can repeat it on in this place right here to speed it all up a little bit. Okay, so for the final piece in the corner right here. So this one also fits in the middle, so I'm gonna make the marking in the middle here and then drill it straight. Okay. This is extremely close to the rim, so a little too close for comfort, to be honest. Alright, so now I'm gonna put the pieces of cardboard wood in place, put this piece on top and screw it in. Alright, I guess that's it. I don't like the rough edges here, so I'm quickly gonna run the sander over it. So there you have it, the doors of the cheap cabinets are back together, and I think they're a little bit stronger than they were. It took me about 3 hours of my time to do this job, so that's actually way longer than I anticipated. And yeah, looking back, I might just as well have used like a very thin piece of plywood instead of a door, but yeah, I just wanted to see if I could pull this off as well. But yeah, I wish I had the time back then to build like a proper cabinet, because then you will build it and it's just gonna last forever. So that's it for this video. If you have a cheap cabinet that needs fixing, now you know how to do it. Thanks for watching, and hopefully until the next video. And again, it's raining, right? Like the last time I fixed a cheap cabinet, it also started to rain, and today it's the same way. No wind, a lot of rain. But nice.